Morning, and welcome back to the vlogs, because today is International Slavery Remembrance Day. Well, on the 22nd of August 1791, as 22nd became 23rd, Africans in Haiti, Saint Dominique at the time, were planning an uprising, one of the greatest uprisings to take place in the African world. This uprising, led by the magnificent Toussaint Louverture and carried over by Dessalines and many African women we don't know about and need to find out about, was successful. It was successful in overthrowing the French slavers. Haiti became independent in 1803, sparking, I believe, the abolition, the British abolition in 1807. All plantation owners trembled after that revolution, knowing that this was the beginning of the end. Today I'm off to Greenwich Maritime Museum to deliver some poetry in celebration of the spirit of revolution and the spirit of independence. Viking Park. Victoria Park's got it all. It really has. It's got the trees, it's got the play areas, it's got the water features, it's got the pathways, it's got it all. It's also got a gate that I can't go through. Right, let's go around. Ah!
There's someone there behind that gate.
Really? Get through. Let's see if we can get through this gate. Morning! Anybody there? Nah, can't go around. Go a bit of a cross country down the gate. Excuse me, is the roundabout down there for Grove Road?
There is a roundabout down there.
Yeah, and there's a gate, there's another gate there, isn't there? Yeah, that's the one. I couldn't get that. Thank you, mate. Cheers. Know where I am now? Back on track. The computer has found its course.
In 200 yards, the West Ferry Circus low level, continue straight to stay on West Ferry Road.
Made it to Greenwich Foot and Cycle Tunnel. Love this tunnel. Why? Because the entrance is a dome, and I like domes. I like circles. I like circular movements. I've been here a while. Tell me, do you know about that great man sleeping?
9-1 floor. Doors opening.
Duck. Now you're supposed to walk your bike through this tunnel, but there are no pedestrians, so I'm cycling. I would walk because I'm a law-abiding citizen, and I'm a poet. There you go. A fellow cyclist doing the right thing. Walking your bike through. I admire you doing the right thing, walking your bike through.
Back tyres a bit wobbly and a bit
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's really popular now, isn't it? Everyone's on their bikes. All right, you take it easy. So I made it to the National Maritime Museum, International Slavery Remembrance Day. Should be a powerful day. I have arrived. So this is my space. It's called Baltic Glass. This this is where I'm going to be telling my stories and reading my poetry in about 1 hour's time. A space. Ain't no one know at sunrise day is gone. Good acoustics. One, two. Checking the microphone. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Sounds good to me. Just about to watch a presentation from the magnificent Stella Dadzi. The presentation is called Kick in the Belly, named after her latest book published 2 years ago. So the full title is A Kick in the Belly, Women's Slavery and Resistance.
How did you get that title? A kick in the belly. It worked so well for me, you know, as a metaphor for what happened to enslaved women on the plantation. And it comes from a quote by a guy called Monk Lewis, who was an absentee planter. And one of the things he says in his diary is, I have not passed 6 months in Jamaica, and I've already found on one of my estates a woman who'd been kicked in the womb by a white bookkeeper by which she was crippled herself. And on another of my estates, another woman who'd been kicked in the womb by another white bookkeeper by which she crippled the child. My 2 estates at the 2 extremities of the island. I'm entitled to say from my own knowledge that white bookkeepers kick black women in the belly from one end of Jamaica to the other. And it seemed to me that was such a perfect metaphor, you know. I don't know any woman in this room who can't think about being kicked in the belly without wanting to do this. It's the locus of our life cycle, isn't it? It's birth, it's menstruation, it's sexuality, it's motherhood. All of those things are located in our belly. But of course, the other aspect of that metaphor is that we kick back. And you can't tell the story of enslavement without telling the story of resistance. Otherwise it becomes a story of victimhood that many of us will know. Queen Boadicea, but we won't know stories of Yarson Taylor. She's at the top centre there. Do you know that woman was 60 when she led an army of 5,000 people to fight the British colonialists in the Ashanti War? Why aren't we hearing about these women who've been airbrushed out of the picture? It's a male narrative. It's a story about men who took up machetes and set the cane fields alight. And of course that's part of the story. Of course it is. But it's not the only part of the story. But what you see is a long tradition, and you can go to South Africa, East Africa, West Africa, North Africa, and you find these tales of women who rose to great prominence in their society. Women like Anna Nzinga, who ruled for as long as our own Queen Elizabeth I, over 30 years. Yeah, she was a flea in the ear of the Portuguese from the get-go. She even changed her name and learned Portuguese so she could understand her oppressor. These women are, does anybody know who they are? The homey warriors. Sometimes they're referred to as the Amazonians. Mythology says that they cut their right breast off so they can be sharper with the bow and arrow. There were 8,000 of these women at the court of Dahomey, you know? 8,000. They were influencers. They were soldiers or soldieresses. I love that picture on the right. You see that lady with the pipe? Yeah. Does she look like a victim to you? I know her. I've met her. I've met her on demonstrations. I've met her in my friends' kitchens. I've met her. I know that woman.
It's been an amazing day at the museum. Sister Stella's talk was informative, very empowering, very inspiring. I want to do a lot more research into African women's role in resistance to transatlantic slave trade in the Mahafa. So now we're off to the riverside, to the Thames, to pay some respects and pour libation for our ancestors.
I want to hear you sing that with us. Woke up this morning with my mind, stay on freedom.
Stay on freedom. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Can I just say to Ethnobox, that was brilliant. Thank you so much. Your singing has uplifted us all through the day.
That's right.
You know, we gathered here on the banks of the River Thames to pay tribute to the millions of lives that were blighted by slavery. And we've chosen this location because for hundreds and hundreds of years, this river played a central role in the transport of goods like sugar and rum and the dispatch of those men, predominantly men, who manned the ships and policed the plantations. In Ghana, where my father was born, and where so many captive Africans lost or were deprived of their liberty, we have a tradition of pouring libation. Pouring a libation not just in memory of the dead, but also to call on our ancestors, the spirits of our ancestors, to guide us, to watch over us, and to intercede on our behalf, in the firm belief that those spirits continue to live in our midst.
That's right. This.
Can I ask someone to pour this libation for me? Can you just pour it for me as we go through this? We, the living, vow to uphold this.
We, the living, vow to uphold this.
Thank you. You couldn't see this, but the sister here was pouring libation as we did it. And I leave you with this thought. The women we've honored today have shown us through their own example that acts of resistance may feel like a drop in the ocean. But believe you me, it is those drops in the ocean that swell the tide. Thank you.
Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, Michelle. Give thanks.